And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We have returned here with the Esports World Cup, with the EWC 2025 Global Qualifier Day number 2, with the final qualifying match of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with Gabe versus Goblin. Did go the way of Gabe, but Goblin barely did not quite make it through. But again, an intense series back and forth nonetheless. But now we have one final TVP, Ryung versus Astrea. Let's go. Again, Astrea, he just finished up knocking Gumiho out of the tournament, and as we mentioned it, as we're just jumping right on in, let's go. As spawning in the bottom corner of ley lines, we have the American Protoss player, we have the red Protoss, it is Astrea. And going for the proxy across the map, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the blue Terran representing Team Vitality, it is Ryung. And we have not just one, but two SCVs being sent across the map as we speak, going for the proxy. Let's go, going for the proxy 2 ranks. But again, as we were getting into this, Astrea, he is in his best matchup. This is where he thrives in. We spoke about this. For Goblin, his strongest matchup is PvT. For Astrea, likewise, his strongest matchup is PvT as well. They have different approaches. We have seen Astrea pop off and excel in longer macro games, and that is where he can thrive. We'll see if he can get there, though. I mean, already we have Ryung with the proxy to shut him down ahead of time. Now, with this probe scout, Astrea, he's going to confirm. He's going to confirm that the Rax is missing. He will be aware that there's nowhere to be found, but it comes down to his reaction to his response. Likewise, Ryung, are we going for the tech labs here? Has one gas geyser back at home initially? Do we go 2x Reaper, or do we go into Marauder? Meanwhile, we have the gate cyber expand. Yep, there it is. Marauder's going to be on the way. So proxy Marauder here out of Ryung. Astrea, he is scouting. He is checking here for that proxy location. We'll move over towards the third base location here. Checks the third, moves in towards the linear third base, and he will find this. He will confirm. So nice scouting here for... Oh, actually, I swear I saw a tech lab. I guess we canceled. Never mind. Okay, did cancel. Wait a minute. Is he faking Marauder? Because he started the tech lab early, then he canceled. Starts it again, and then he cancels. I'm loving the fake out here. So Astrea, as you can see, he is reacting to what he believes is proxy Marauder when it isn't. As you can see here, the tech lab was cancelled, and we're already floating back home, and you can see the mind games come into play. Ryung, he's forcing an overreaction out of Astrea. He's forcing Astrea to contain himself on one base longer than he needs to. Wow, yeah, one base. Shield batteries, True Bar was just cancelled. Robo's on the way. No expansion. And with that, we do see that Ryung is floating back home, is calming down, is getting to a longer game. Oh my god. Okay. So again, the mind games here out of Ryung. We saw something similar previously, actually, between Astrea and Gumiho. Did you see something similar? As Ryung is setting up back at home, is happily expanding, happily settling in. Oh, right, sorry, my apologies. If you're in the chat, my apologies. You know what time it is. How could I forget? It's time to gamba. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. As a reminder, best of 7. This is a full best of 7 here, and already we've had quite an intense matchup, quite an intense start to the game. Typically, whenever we start a series, and if we start things off with a cheese or with a proxy, that's often when I forget to do predictions, just because I'm locked into the game. So I do apologize. But yes, predictions now open in the chat. Place your bets. Ryung a little more aggressive, 100%. I do feel like Ryung is a little more willing to go for 2 base all-ins if need be. For now, he's settling into his own 2-1-1 setup. Tank production has begun. CC on the high grounds. And there's going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Astrea. Let's open Twilight Council. Twilight Council most likely into Blink. Ooh, nice scan here. Nice catch out of Ryung. Does spot the Observer. Observer goes down. Charge on the way from Astrea. I do like this, actually. So charge is a really good way to shut down a tank base all-in early on, assuming that Ryung would go for something like that. We do see that stim is being prioritized, so really fast stim out of Ryung, insanely fast stim, most likely getting ready for an early push for a 3-1-1 stim timing. Yeah, third Rex is on the way. Tank production has begun. So hyper aggression here out of Ryung. Is being hyper aggressive. Hallucination scouts. Ooh, I don't think saw the tech lab. I don't think he saw the racks. Regardless, is at least aware of the tanks. This charge will soon complete. It's going to charge Lord's Archon into early storm. Now, as you can see here for Astrea, he's actually going for 2 gases and a Temple Archives before expanding. So this is very safe. This is like insanely safe play out of Astrea, delaying his third base, and this also means that there's a high chance that Storm is going to be ready in time for the push. Scan. Oh. Takes down the Observer. Nice catch. Now, what's important about sniping these observers here is not just lack of vision, but the lack of awareness of when the push commits across the map. Ryung ideally wants to sneak out. So you can see Storm has begun. Storm has begun. As we mentioned, like, this is just really, really safe 2-base play out of Astrea, going for a delayed third base into incredibly fast Storm. And again, I believe Storm will be done in time for the push. Like, Astrea, I think he should be fine here. Assuming that Ryung commits and doubles down. Storm is already halfway done. It's already halfway done. Blink is now on the way. Now, there is a bit of a give and take. Because we didn't open Blink, it does mean that, as we snipe another... Oh my... Like, Ryung! Jesus! Like, yeah. Oh my god. He's got 20/20 vision, mate. Oh my god. Ay, papi. Mate, he just senses the observers. He just knows. He sees everything. He is Neo. As that's going to be the 4th observer coming in. Yo, does he spot it? Based on that Cyclone movement, he might be aware. Jesus. So Ryung, calm down. So more observers moving out. Ryung, he will expand. Double drop into the main base. Remember, this is hitting with Stim. Hitting with Stim. Does him to the bases. Again, Astrea, he missed this move out as he was just being, as the observer was just getting sniped time and time and time again. Doesn't get much more done from here, but does snipe both pylons. Depowers everything in the main. Yeah, denies Blink. Does boost away. Very nice Bigos here from Ryung. And Ryung is expanding. Remember, he is not going for the all-in. He will expand. Takes out another pylon. Delays the 4th. Yes, without sniping the High Templar. Storm is available, but no storms yet. Doesn't I? Doesn't I? Rotating down. Scan takes it again. Ryung. God. He sees every little shimmer. Takes down the observer. Zelrama here towards the 3rd base. Ryung, he's forced back home. This will delay him. Picking up a couple of SCVs. Forcing a bit of friendly fire. Meanwhile, Prism into the main, not bad. Getting more SCV kills. And again, he does force Ryung all the way back home here. Further back into the natural, further back into the main base. 11 SCVs, not bad. 11, 12, 13, 14. Can we get 15? 16? Gets a full minute run. Gets a full minute. The two zealots. They're popping off. Oh my god. 16, 17, 18 SCVs. And with that, Astrea, he does cripple the economy here of Ryung. Ryung down to 39 workers. Ay, barely an economy. Now, Ryung, he did deny the 4th base of Astrea. That's true, but even still, that's still nowhere near as much. Nowhere near enough. Astrea back at home, settling into Colossal production. And thanks to this one observer here, it took a long time to get this observer up and running, of course, but if there were to be a push, Astrea would see it. He would see, he would know. For now, he knows that he's safe enough. Just focus on economy, focus on teching, focus on upgrades. Get double forge, double upgrades on the way. Bay as well for Colossus. Fourth base getting saturated. Astrea almost up to 80 workers. Astrea getting further and further ahead. What Ryung is really, what his big advantage, I should say, is the army. He has tanks, he has ghosts, he has wind mines. In a longer game, Astrea will outscale Ryung. And here comes the storm. Once again, delaying the push. Astrea just needs time. He just has to buy time for extra warp ins. Fifth expansion on the which he's getting a fifth. Getting a fifth base. Again, just getting further ahead. Astrea's in the driver's seat. He sees a move out. He does see the move out. Sees Zelt's getting ready for a counterattack. For a run by. Ryung, he rotates towards the south side. Pushing to the center. Is spotted by the observer. God damn it, Astrea. Every time. Storm's heading away. To be fair, I think that was Ryung, right? I think. Not good. Storms, they do connect. And again, it's all about buying time. Remember, Astrea, he's max. Astrea's maxed out. He has a greater economy. He just has to trade, slow down the army. Take it slow. So it's trying to catch the army. Better trade for Ryung. Like Astrea collapsing on the main force. Not quite getting on top of the tanks. Not quite. Ryung, he's holding his own. Catching at the sentry. Ooh, we'll take a storm to the face. High Templar going to be going down. And Ryung, he has to send it. He has to send it here and now. He has to keep going. He cannot stop. Pushing up the ramp. The last there are still storms left over. Still storms left. We have a flanking High Templar coming in. Ooh, we'll go down. Zelsa coming from behind. He gets us around. And Astrea just swallows off the army. Takes down the tanks. Chasing down the ghosts. And again, Astrea reinforcing with 2 Colossus at a time. That's a lot of Colossus. Rotates over. The observer does spot the lack of anything here at the third. Takes down the bunker. Pulls away. Sees the army rotation. Observer gets caught. Observer gets caught out, but there's still 2 more observers here. The observers, I still see everything. Despite all the scans. Astrea is crazy. And again, he's remaxed. Astrea is remaxed. Diving on the ghost. Oh, hot pick up. Nice control there by Ryung. So I'll save the ghost. Oh god. That's 3 Colossus. Probably moving in. Oh, I see MP. EMP pops off. Likewise, Astrea just containing his opponents, containing Ryung.
That field's been mined out.
Right. God damn, every time. God damn it. Vlad in denial about Diva being the best announcer right there. No, no. You're in denial, Pappy. Yeah, the copium. Obviously, it's Total Biscuit. Obviously. Best announcer. Here we go. Again, just containing his opponent. Ryung, he does claim a fourth, true. So what's important here, even though Astrea's done a great job at containing his opponents, he is mass expanding, by the way, taking as many bases as possible. Ryung does establish a fourth base, so he does have the ability to maintain himself. We could end up in another, like, 40-minute game, by the way. From here, Astrea can now start teching. Into what? Into Sky Toss. Into a Stargate, into a Fleet Peak, and start getting ready for a longer game state. Nice Storm. But Astrea, he's starting to work on that bank. The bank is building up for Astrea. And so far, it looks like he's coming into a ground army. No Skytos tech yet. Likewise, drops into the main. Going for another warp in. This time is denied. It does get a couple of SCVs here at the natural. But I'm a little bit concerned for Astrea just because Ryung, he's turned up quite nicely here. Astrea's getting a couple of SCVs, but he's not really breaking these expansions, or at least he shouldn't. Which means, what are we spending this money on? Again, we should be taking towards Skytos here, I feel. Just because Ryung, he's defending. He's defending, he's holding. Ryung is now maxed out. Like, this would be the time. Yep, there it is. Stargate's out of the way. I do feel like this is a little bit late for Astrea. I feel like this decision could have been made, like, maybe a minute, 2 minutes ago. But he's on the way, right? He's on the way. And again, the reasoning for this is because Ryung's on 4 bases. Like, he's survived until 4. He's maxed. Oh, God. Brutal storms. But he's hunkered it. He's like, you know, he's locked in. He's locked in. He's turtled up. So now it's time to tech. From here, I wouldn't be opposed to Stargate into a second Cyber Core into double Skytos upgrades. Then into just mass Stargate into Fleet Beacon. Ten observers getting called out. Let's go. There's 4 left. We'll take note of that. There's a Fleet Beacon. There's +1 air attack. Second Stargate. Astrea's getting there. Third Stargate. Fourth Stargate. Jeez. Getting into 4 Stargates. Still no second Cyber Core. So it doesn't quite go for the double upgrades yet. But again, this is the correct thing to do. Like, Astrea has to work towards Tempest. Because he can no longer, like, break this position. He is at least investing into shield upgrades as well. Places him into the bases, get shut down, as we mentioned, like with Ryung's looking very, very well defended. So here we go. Storm does own. Super annoyed listening to the caster saying Ryung is out of this. I don't think I've said that necessarily. If you recall, I was talking about how once Ryung got his 4th base up and running, like, he's secure. And right now it's on Astrea to tech up, to get into Skytos. If he can get there, then he should be able to just, you know, secure himself here and start to whittle away at the air-based army, at the Liberators, at the setup of Ryung. Until then, Ryung, he's slowly breaking out, getting another expansion. Like, we've been here before. Basically, right now it's on Astrea to perfect his army. God, I keep hearing Diva. Aye. Okay, it's so unsteady here from the side of Ryung. We have to just slowly take more bases. Get a 5th, get a 6th. It does feel like Ryung is doing a better job here than Gumiho when it comes to taking some of these bases. I mean, it's a different kind of map, right? We're not Ultra Love. Oh, Brutal Storms. Storms, Tempest production has begun. Yes, once again, like Ryung, he's been a lot more proactive here with these nukes, like just bullying his way forward. Oh, but this base is exposed. Yeah, there's nothing in the planetary. Zelda went for this round. Can he save the base? Oh my god, Brutal Storms as well. SV's gonna be going down, but the base does survive. Whew, just barely. Yeah, Ryung, he defends with a bare minimum, which means now he can keep focusing on that push on the right hand side. And move his way in. I believe Tempest production did begin here for Astrea, and again he has to slowly trade out some of these units for those Tempest. If you recall, we spoke about this in the Gumiho series, but that is kind of like the hardest part for Astrea, is to slowly trade out without losing too much. There we go, picking up some Liberators. Bottom right is going to go down. And the other scary thing here about ley lines as opposed to Ultra Love is that unlike the previous map, Astrea, he had the corner bases, right? He had the corner bases and he was able to outmine Ryung. Here he is outmining, but Ryung is taking control of these bases. And the contested bases haven't been taken by Astrea. I'm referring to the most southern base and the most northern base. Like, they're empty at the moment. And that is scary. For now though, Tempests are coming, making 4 Tempests at a time. He does now have a second Cyber Core, so now he's getting +2 and +1. So he's maintaining his upgrades. Here come the Tempest. Here we go, he's made it. He's made it to the Tempest. And this is where now suddenly Ryung's army is lacking a little bit here. He does need more Vikings. It's all about that air Terran, like more Liberators, more Vikings. Alongside Ghost, of course. And we spoke about how Astrea hasn't taken the fringe bases yet, but he's also denying this thing. Yeah, the planetary. Planetary goes down. Tempest over well. Really nice setup here alongside the cannons. Liberation setting up. Storm on the Vikings. Yeah, Vikings are going down. Barely any Vikings left. And without Vikings, how do you deal with these Tempests? You don't. Alright, Tempests, they just bully back the army. The Tempests have arrived. To say, calm down, Astrea. But again, like Astrea, the hard part for him is over. Like we spoke about, like how difficult it can be to transition out of ground toss into sky toss, but he's got there. He's gotten there at this point. He denies the bases. Ryung doesn't really have what he needs to deal with sky toss, to deal with Tempest. And Astrea from here can overwhelm. And now he can start to outtrade his opponent. Like now Astrea can be the more efficient player. And this is what Astrea does best. This is where he's in his own. He's in his element. Like he's got his 10k bank. He's got his bases. He's cut the map in half. He's got his Tempest. Let's go. But what is really hurting Ryung here is just that really heavy Marauder army. He has to get rid of it. He has to trade it out. You can see Ryung is getting 2 more starports. Like, he knows that he needs to switch into something more air heavy. Astrea pulled it off. Ryung not quite. As his bases are going down. Here you go, the flanking nuke, let's go. Ada! Never mind. Hero would have won this map 5+ minutes ago. A hero would not play this kind of way. Like, hero would not get into Skytoss. Classic would. Classic, he does like playing this style as well. Hero, he's not that kind of player. Different kind of style, different kind of player. Once again, just barely catching up the ghost. Denies the storm. Straight to denies the nuke. Nicely done. As from here, Ryung attempted to expand. Once again being bullied back. Now, Ryung, he is slowly building up his Viking counts. He's up to, I want to say, what does he have? 10? Soon to be 12? Viking count is slowly building up. Once again, we've been here before. If there ever is a moment where Astrea would lose a fight to the mass Viking, like, he is prepared here for the mass ground switch. I say that I haven't seen the gateway count yet, but he should have like around 20 or so gateways. Good Eastern Storm. Once again zones away. You can see Ryung making just more Vikings. Collapsing the army. Ryung establishing another base. At least trying to. Oh. Planetary is almost done. Storm in the middle line. SCV is going to be going down. Yeah, nice storms. With that, 13 SCV kills. Astrea rotating down. As he rotates down, Ryung is taking the northern base. Map is being cut in half. Terra needs to know how to deal with this Tempest? No. BCs take bonus damage from Tempest because they count as massive units. BCs are not what you want against Tempest. You just want to go into Mass Viking. You want to go into Mass Viking with your Ghost support, of course, and Liberators. That's why Ryung is trying to get there. Ryung is trying to get there. That's why he's making as many Vikings as he can. The problem here is that, again, he did have a really rough mid-game getting into this, maintaining his economy. He is able to get some bases up and running, so I'm impressed. True. Ryung, his mass expanding. Still being bullied back by the main army, by the Tempest. So the planetary. And the reality here is that there's no pressure for Astrea. Like, oh my god, brutal storms. Is that he just has to poke in, deny bases, pull away, rotate. He's pushing forward once again. Very patient play here by Astrea. Pokes in, gets a volley off. Ideally, Ryung wants to lure the army further out into the open, away from the cannons, away from the shield batteries. But Astrea's just been very, very careful with his movements, making sure he stays protected. Okay, we're good to wait for like another half an hour, man. We're good to go. Oh, nice rotation. Yo, a big shout out to Super Kaito in the chat. Gab, oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the rate. Oh, sorry, for subscribing for 37 months. Thank you, thank you. So long. Over 3 years of support. Thank you, Super Kaito. Thank you. Always appreciate it. Thanks for asking EWC qualifiers. Ah, de nada, baby, de nada. You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice cleanup though. Basically, because Astrea was busy taking down the base towards the northern side of the map, we do clean up all these cannons. So nice cleanup there from Ryung. But he still did. Oh god, still takes some storms to the face. And again, Astrea can still afford to replenish this. And there we go, throwing down a wall of stasis traps or stasis fields. The minefield is set. Nuke zone. Nuke does zone away. And Ryung, we've been here before with Gumiho. He's running out of money. He's running out of gas. More importantly, he needs another base. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, we're good. But he's running out of gas. He needs another base. He needs gases to maintain himself. Otherwise, he'll just run out of steam and he'll be just forced into an all-in. He's just now taking gases bottom right. You can see top left. Ah, god, no, he needs the base. He needs the expansion. Astrea's moving in. Hiding back. Nice storms. Yeah, storms are brutal here on the Bio Army. Kites away to the wall of cannons and shield batteries. Astrea just loves to torture his opponents. This is the correct way to play this out. Like, I should hammer that home. I think I've seen some people say like, oh, like he likes to drag things out or something. It's like, no, this is just like this. This is the correct way to play. Like, is just being like hyper efficient with your Tempest. Is taking it slow, knocking down these fringe bases, denying mining. You could argue that because he's ahead enough, he can take chances to be more aggressive and to be more assertive, and he has a large enough bank where he can afford to make mistakes, right? And he can afford to take a bad fight and just remax from there. For sure, I understand that. I think that's where... Oh, okay. Nuke is denied. But that's where, like, I think that's where... like different players would make that decision, right? To take a bad fight, to lose an army, but to, like, you know, to make it be worth it anyway. Astrea does pull away. But there's also like ways that Ryung would be able to come back, right? Like you're leaving yourself vulnerable for your opponent to actually have a comeback in the game and actually have a chance to recover in some way. Here, like Astrea, he's just securing the win. He's like, I'm just not gonna give Ryung that chance. We're gonna take a so I'm gonna pick off one Viking at a time until eventually you have nothing left. Ah. Once again, just trying to zone the army back, trying to stop the tide of cannons. Meanwhile, mass recall on the right hand side. Oh, sorry, towards the left. Once again, denying the most important mining base. Takes down the CC. And again, as you mentioned, like Ryung, he has no income. Like, yeah, right, he's out of money, out of resources. Long distance mining, it's all he can do back. Here comes Astrea. Nuke will land. Oh, barely not. Would you see Ryung going for the dive? He's all in. Like, the one final push here. He's had enough waiting. Oh god, takes a little storms to the face. Runs through the storms. Astrea is up to how many Tempests? Jesus. Yeah, just moving in. And all that Astrea has to do is just maintain control of this base. Like, this is the most important would-be base for Ryung to have some kind of economy. As he's running on fumes. Nothing left behind this. Goes off, buying some time. Ryung collapsing in. But yeah, it's funny how the series starts, because if you remember, the series started the same way for Gumiho. Same way. Different map, of course, was on Ultra Love, if you recall. But Astrea was able to pop off in the same way at the start of the series versus Gumiho, forcing out a 45-minute game. Nice mining. I need, one of these days I have to get used to like taking a screenshot of the map order. That's what I'm thinking of right now. I mean, again, we spoke about this during the Gumiho series. There are certain maps that are better for this kind of style. There are other maps where it's more difficult to cut the map in half. So I feel like a lot of the playstyle from Ryung will also probably adapt depending on what map's going to be coming up next. From here, trying to dive in. Once again, Astrea, he pulls back to the safety of his cannons. a brutal stasis. Oh god, oh no, there's so many ghosts here. So many ghosts got caught out by the stasis. Ay, ay, ay. And he shouldn't escape. I should lose them. Should. It does commit. Ghost gonna be going down. More Nova's going off. Storm of the Vikings. And that's gonna be the final Vikings here. The final fight for Ryung. He commits. He'll lose everything. The Vikings going down. Storm of the Bio. Tempest, they hold their own. And with that, Astrea, he's looking to take a lead here in this series, in this best of 7. GG gets called, and Astrea takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, a strong start here for Astrea, winding up back. Essentially, it was, what, during the first 15-ish minutes of the, oh my god. 15-ish minutes of the game, where Astrea was able to take a lead. If you recall, he was able to eviscerate the economy. He killed, was it 29 SCVs? 24? Like over 20. Over 20 workers went down to a Zealot run by at the third base and to Zealots in towards the main as well. It was brutal critical damage. And after that lead, that's where Astrea was able to expand, able to tech up, able to gain map control. That's how this began. Bear that in mind. For those that maybe weren't here for the start of the game, but Astrea had just a very, very strong start, which allowed him to get into a position where he was able to just mass expand and just take advantage of the map itself. We spoke about how momentum-based TvP is, and it can be really brutal to try to recover from that. It's actually quite similar to what we saw between Gabe and Goblin, where Goblin was losing a lot of workers early on. He was losing his third base or losing 10 to 20 workers to Banshee Harass, for example, and Goblin was just perpetually behind, and that's what happened in the last 3 to 4 games in Goblin series versus Gabe. Here it's quite similar what we just saw, where Ryung, instead, he's the one that lost a bunch of workers early on. He lost map control, he lost his economy, and he was playing catch up from there. There were certain instances here in the game where there were maybe some opportunities, or when Astrea was at his most vulnerable, specifically when it came to him transitioning into his Skytoss army. We spoke about it, how his Stargates and his Cybercores were a little bit later than we could have seen, and likewise, bleeding off units and switching into Tempest can leave you vulnerable, but once he got his mass Tempest up, it was solid. Once he got it up and running, then he was secure. Then there was, just very little that Ryung could do. But again, just to re-emphasize that big reason for that is that Ryung fell behind early. Did fall behind. GG well played. With that, Astrea does claim a lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Getting ready for game 2 here, and we'll see what map we load into next. Let's go. When it comes to maps which are a little bit more viable for this kind of style, maps like Ultralove, maps like, I want to say Maganatha as well. I mean, Maganatha is a little bit wider, but I do feel like you can take map control of Maganatha and can take over. I do think that's, oh, sorry, I meant to say Tokamak. I think Maganatha is going to be a little bit more awkward just because of the base layouts, but yeah, we could probably see that as well. On some of these smaller maps, it's going to be more difficult. Like, for example, Persephone, I do feel like you can be more aggressive as a Terran player to be more active on the map. Pylon as well, 100%. So depending on the map, we can lend towards one style or the other. And we'll see how Ryung will approach this. We'll see what kind of maps we'll get into next. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. We are going to be settling in and getting ready for our next game. They'll play Terran. Just wondering here, would it be more viable to go and make Master Raven against Disable the Tempest? Not really. Trying to build up a Tempest count, and likewise trying to actually get within range to disable the Tempest. Sorry, trying to build up a Raven count and getting within range to disable that as well doesn't sound very viable. Bearing in mind that means that you're going to be sacrificing Viking production and sacrificing army production in favor of spellcasters that have to build up energy over time. Oh, here we go. We're getting into the next game. Once again, just to reiterate, it's the lack of economy and just the rough start that did lead to that kind of game state. Ideally, you do want to go into Mass Viking, Mass Viking Liberator Ghost to deal with that sort of style. The composition that Ryung was leaning towards was the correct one, but again, the game state itself wasn't really helping him in that regard. But here we go. Getting to our next game. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner here of Pylon, we do have the American Protoss. It is Astrea, the red Protoss. In the top left hand corner of the advertisement, we do have the South Korean Terran player for Team Vitality. It is Ryung. Let's go. We'll get there. Whew. But again, welcome on to Pylon. Pylon is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. All-ins are favored on this map. Double gas opener here out of Ryung. We do expect to see an all-in out of Ryung here on Pylon. It is the expected thing to do. Again, the bases here are more open, and the rush distance by ground is a lot shorter as well. We have seen a lot of players struggle to deal with these all-ins from Terran, where you can commit, you can pull the boys, you can be hyper aggressive. I say from Terran in general in every matchup, really, like you can be more aggressive here on Pylon. So I do feel like this map does favor Ryung. I do think that it's going to be more difficult here for Astrea to get into that kind of like endgame style, but I mean, he doesn't have to, right? It's like we could see Astrea himself be more aggressive here. Both players will have to adapt and adjust depending on the map that they load into. So coming into Pylon, we do expect to see more aggressive tendencies here from both players, from both sides. Here we go. For now, double gas. Now, when it comes to our double gas opener, we are going Reaper first. We'll see if we go into an earlier tech lab. We'll see if we go for early tanks or early Banshee play. Of course, Gabe was very fond of Banshee play in his series against Goblin, and Banshees, I mean, they have permeated throughout the Korean meta as well. But we'll see. Here we go. It's going to be Reactor after said Reaper. Starport's on the way. Did we get a tech lab? I don't think we did. Wait, what? Am I crazy? Okay, there we go. Tech lab's now on the way. Tech lab's in production on that factory. Twilight Council open out of Astrea, so Twilight Council into Blink, so standard open out of Astrea. From here, we should be going into extra gateways. Astrea, because of the map itself, he may decide to be even safer and go for extra gases on 2 bases in towards Storm before taking a third. We'll see how safe Astrea plans on being. So now, Medevac is on the way, opening up Singular Widowmine. Say Singular has enough time here for a second. Never mind. Okay, so Singular Widowmine into early tanks. So early tank production here out of Ryung. Meanwhile, Astrea does throw down 2 more gateways. It is going to be 3 gate blink. It does spot the drop. So 3 gate blink out of Astrea. Have the drop on the right hand side. Tanks are massing up back at home. And Astrea, he's following the medevac, or at least trying to. Does overshoot. Drop towards the natural. Astrea's in position. Widowmine does borrow. And, oh, does get off. Takes down 1 probe. Just 1. Nice defense here by Astrea. So far, so good. Behind this, going into tank into Banshee play. Okay. Does switch into Banshee. No cloak. No cloak. No upgrade there. Just take Banshee. Hallucination doesn't quite confirm whether or not cloak is being researched. But do you see what I see? Gases. Gases at the natural, Robo as well, so, and the Temple Archive. So as he mentioned, I was curious to see if Astrea was going to delay his third in favor of tech. He is. So late third base out of Astrea. He's rushing into Robo into Storm as well on 2 bases. If you remember, I believe Astrea did the same thing last game as well. Just really safe play from Astrea. Oh, as Ryung, he's pushing through the center. Astrea trying to force the army back home. Trying to catch reinforcements. And here comes Ryung. Ooh, and Astrea, can he hold against this? Does have the Immortal in the way. It's going to be a tough hold. Ryung for now going for the pylon. Astrea, he does try to catch reinforcements. Marine's going to be going down. Can he get the tank? It's going to be close, but he might be able to. Yeah, tank does go down. Nice pickup. Ryung turns around. Turns back around. From here, Ryung, he's running out of steam. Has to back off. Astrea holds. Astrea, he does hold on. Now, the one downside here is that, again, Astrea, he intentionally delayed his third base in favor of all this tech. He's got the Immortal, he has the Stalkers, he has Charge, and he has Storm as well. And he was hoping that Ryung would commit. Ryung doesn't commit. He pulls back home. He pulls back home. Third TC is on the way. Third Nexus for Astrea. Now the pressure is on Astrea to actually make use of this tech and use it in some way, shape, or form. Ooh, brutal tank shots. Astrea not quite able to break through. And now we're gearing up towards a longer game. Both players are expanding. Banshees are deflected. Remember, no cloak. There is no cloak. So no need for detection. Storm's coming in. Ooh, going for the feedbacks. Very nice. Oh my god. Astrea, calm down. Shuts down both Banshees. Very nice. Astrea rallying out. He's got plenty of High Templar, plenty of Storm. Again, Astrea wants Ryung to push. Like, Astrea wants this army. But Ryung's just expanding. Just expanding, getting a third. Coming into this game set, I actually think that Ryung's in a decent position. Just because he did have the maturity to just back off and expand. But I believe he should be contained, is the problem. And now Astrea, as soon as he sees a third, fourth. Bam. Fourth base on the way. Second Forge, double upgrades. Oh, Ryung pushing out, running into Storms. Storm does zone. Prism does sneak behind. Goes to the Storm drop. Not many SCVs to Storm, actually. And not ideal. Storm's not really connecting. Zealot Rambai does hit the natural. But here comes the push. Here comes Ryung. Once again, Storms, they just tickle the army. They graze the army, I should say. Oh, the friendly fire. Oh my god. Brutal friendly fire. 11, 12 SCV kills. Not like this. But Ryung has a massive army. Yeah, SCVs are going down. Ryung, he's all in. Ryung, he's all in. 21 SCV kills. He has to break the expansion with this force. The Storms for Astrea have been lackluster. Astrea, he's in trouble here. The base is under fire. You have a flanking Storm. He's catching a lot of Marauders. Oh, the Prism! Oh my god, yeah, inattentive. Prism goes down. Nice snipe. And again, Astrea, he has to back off from here. He will abandon the base. Base goes down. Does at least evacuate the mineral line. Saves the probes. Catching reinforcements. Again, really patient play here by Astrea. He cannot fight the main army. Not yet. He has to respect those tanks. Tanks are on siege. And he's also hit the mineral line once again. Catching more reinforcements. Killing more SCVs. The main army, though, is still gaining ground. Better Storm. Much better. Yeah, one of my shots about to go off. Oh, brutal connections. Still cleans up the ghost. Gas mine connections. Ryung does hold back at home, but the main army a little bit smaller than it once was. Astrea collapsing in. Dives on the army, can he get on top of the tanks? Nice target firing here on top of the High Templar. Yeah, Templar targeted down one after the other. No storms. There's one High Templar left. But Astrea holds. Yeah, Astrea, he holds. He shuts down the army. And again, Ryung was completely all in. He's down to less than half the worker count. Astrea, he holds. He defends. Now saturating the base on the left-hand side. Almost a ninja base. That was the fourth, but I guess now, still the fourth. So let's say Astrea transfers. And now he's getting further ahead. He's getting further ahead from here. He survived the aggression. And now he's got 74 probes. +2 is about to finish. Storm is amassing. And Ryung, he had to end the game with that push, and unfortunately he wasn't able to. He wasn't able to end the game. Did not kill Astrea. Astrea has to calm down. Like this, oh my god. There's not much reason for Astrea to be active like this. Has to be careful. So the runway hits towards the left-hand side. Astrea does cause a distraction. Now getting to +3. Second forge. Astrea being active. Prism moves out towards the natural. Ryung, he still has potential with this army. He's got a lot of ghosts, a lot of EMPs. Oh, Zelsa hit the third base once again. They punish the economy. Ryung looking for a way in. Oh, he's about to get surrounded. Astrea setting up for a flank, setting up for a surround. Zelsa coming in from behind. There's a minefield. Storms that don't quite connect. But Zelsa cleans the minefield. Better storms here from Astrea. Yeah, and he just crushes the army. Brings everything down. We do land an EMP towards the end. But Ryung has almost nothing left. Almost nothing left here. He's got a couple of medevacs. A couple of ghosts. Yeah, he scans. Now he knows. Now he sees the base. He was unaware until now. Just how far behind he was. Oh, he hasn't seen that base side. Oh god. he doesn't know. And GG gets caught. He sees the army in Astrea. He will take a 2-0 lead. Whew. He will start things off with a 2 advantage. GG. GG. Yeah, strong start here for Astrea. Once again, we saw that Ryung, he was forced into an all-in. He was forced to be committed as he was moving out. He was just losing far too many cities back at home. The Zealot run-bys were brutal. The storm drops were a little bit less so. But again, Astrea, he had a really safe start to this game. As a reminder, winding it back, he did delay his third base intentionally, rushing into Storm, rushing into Immortals. Just a really, really defensive start out of Astrea. And Ryung kind of played into that. I was praising Ryung earlier for backing off and getting a third base, but then he pushed. Then he moved out, which is exactly what Astrea wanted. He wanted Ryung to commit, but just so he could make use of all the storms he had accumulated, of course. And with that, yeah, he kind of played into Astrea's hands. Astrea, he was able to force you all in, counterattacked. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Astrea takes it to a lead, and we'll see if he can extend that lead even further here, or if Ryung can bounce back. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting ready here for game number 3. And again, we'll see how Ryung will adjust here. I think what's scary is Astrea's opener. He went for the same one in game 1 as well, is that he has been delaying his expansion. He has been going for a much more safer start. I do think that greed is probably the best response to this, going for a better economy and going for a faster third CC. We'll see what Ryung decides to go for, though. Like, in my mind, I think there's a really good way to like take advantage of how late we do see the third base here from Astrea and try to kind of beat him to the mid game and excel there instead. But yeah, it comes down to Ryung. Comes down to what he prefers. Here we go. Which was DreamHack Dallas? DreamHack Dallas was like a month ago, maybe? It's like a month ago. It was a big offline event that happens. Not too long. I say a month ago, like 3 weeks? 3 weeks or a month? Like, jeez, how long has it been? Hasn't been too long. One, two, three. Was it over a month ago? Jesus. It was like end of May, right? End of May-ish? Yeah. Yeah, well, so around a month. Jesus. But it looks like our players that might be asking for a break here, which is understandable. Understandable. They need a moment. I'm sure Ryung needs a moment here to just take a breath and go over his builds and maybe adjust his approach as well. Oh, we'll see. We shall see. But yes, Maru, he qualified through DreamHack Dallas. If you recall, DreamHack Dallas was Maru, Classic, Solar, Shin, and no, yeah, that's it. Mario, Classic, Solar, and Shin. They made it through DreamHack Dallas. Those are 4 players. Likewise, we had Hero qualifying through Season 1 of GSL, of course. Did qualify through Season 1. Who qualified through Season 2? Right, it would have been Rogue, right? So here we go. We're getting into our next game. Looks like our players, they have taken their break. They have taken a moment. And now we are jumping on in. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner here of Tokamak. We have the American Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss. It is Astrea. Cool. Beautiful. Oh my god, Jesus. What is happening? What's going on with the zooms, Bappy? And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the blue Terran for Team Vitality, it is Ryung. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting to our next game. We're getting into game number 3 here, and we'll see if Astrea can continue his reign or if Ryung can begin his comeback. Welcome to Tokamak. Interesting. So Tokamak is up next. So Tokamak is one of the more defensive maps in the map pool. Because of that, if you recall, I was talking about how I would like to see some more greedy play out of Ryung, just because of how defensive Astrea has been. But I would say I would caveat that. First things first, that's a gate expand by Astrea. Gate expand before Cybercore, so Astrea going for a very greedy start to this game. Meanwhile, ranks expand out of Ryung. So economic openers all around. The problem here with Tokamak is that, again, economic openers are going to be favored, of course. It is more easy to defend on 3 and 4 bases. You'd have a more secure setup. Rush distance by ground is longer as well. So it is more difficult to be aggressive on this map to begin with. So we'll see how many corners our players cut. Astrea, so far in this series, both Game 1 and Game 2, he has gone for these more defensive builds. He's been going for faster charge, going for faster storm, faster gases at the natural, late third bases. I feel like that should change coming to Tokamak. We should not see that. At least in my mind. Especially against an economic start. We could see Ryung try to catch Astrea off guard with an all-in. I was talking about how this map favors more defensive play, that's true, but you can still pull off some all-ins, like it's still possible to try to catch your opponent off guard. Especially if Astrea is maybe too greedy. Oh, hello! Reactor into add-on solver into reactor to Hellion production. Okay, we're mixing it up here. We've been casting a lot of TVP tonight. We have not seen this, not yet. So this looks like Reactor Reaper Hellion into most likely, sorry, Reactor Reaper, why do I keep saying Reactor Reaper? This looks like Reactor Hellion most likely into drop play, never mind. So it's going to be double Hellion into Widowmine drop. The goal here is to split up your forces, to go for a Hellion towards the natural, Widowmine towards the main, and try to find an opening, try to find some damage done. Try to find some economic damage even. So Ryung, he does mix it up, does mix up his opener. Back at home, we have a 2 more gates, so 3-gate blink out of Astrea, Robo as well, also on 2 bases, so really fast Robo out of Astrea for faster observers. And we'll see if he takes his gases. If he takes his gases, then he's going to be hyper safe. He shouldn't, but we'll see if he does. Here comes the mine drop. We could even try to send everything in together. I did mention how I expected a mine drop towards the main and Hellion towards the natural, but we could just bring it all together instead. And there it is, Astrea, he will expand. So faster third base for Astrea. And we'll see if Ryung can bust in and get some economic damage. Let's go. Can we get some probe kills? Widowmine boost in. They head towards the mineral line. Widowmine will burrow. Probes are lining up. Probes do line up. Widowmine do on burrow. Stalkers, so far they're holding their own. And we do get a Widowmine into the main. Oh my god, 1 probe. 5 in total. So far, 5 probe kills for 4 Widowmines. Astrea holds. Astrea, he holds, he defends. That could have been so much worse. I'll shut this down. At least the Medevac survives. But I'd say it overall a clean defense here from Astrea. Just losing 1 extra probe. As the clean feed gets a little bit dirty. It's okay. Behind this, we see Ryung following this up with Banshee play. So mine drop Hellions into Banshee play. Meanwhile, there are tanks in position, thankfully. Astrea going for his own counterattack, going for the tank. The tank's exposed. The tank is going to go down. Takes down the tank, pulls away, has control of the production, going for the add-ons. Ooh, and this counterattack is brutal. Ryung, he invested so heavily here into his Widowmine and Hellion, and it did not do enough. Not enough damage, the final tank goes down. Ryung just getting pulled apart. Astrea looking dominant, barely does not get the Banshee. Hellions, they go back into the mineral line. 11 probes! Oh my god, what just happened? 11 probes go down. This is good damage here from Astrea, but back at home, these Hellions, they pop off. Banshee into the main. I mean, we do equivalent damage. 12 probe kills, but 11 SCVs also fall. On top of that, the tanks as well. So I still do favor Astrea here. As Ryung does get a couple more workers. Does force a recall. Does force that recall. The Banshee does not escape. Still gets 16 probes. And the game continues. Again, honestly, if it wasn't for the Banshee and Hellion harass, that could have been game. This could have been game then and there. It's still brutal here as Astrea is still finding more damage. Gets behind the mineral line. Ooh, please that 1 Stalker. Oh, once again diving and getting another tank. Another tank goes down. Crazy. Astrea, calm down. Ryung just wants to play with some tanks. That's 3 tanks falling. There's 1 tank left. Ryung is getting a 3rd CC. And Astrea from here, behind this, is taking to charge, gateways, still probing up as well. As the pressure right now is on Ryung to break out to get some kind of counter damage. The pressure is on. Banshee back into the main. Let's go. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4 more probes. Astrea zoned away from the main base as well. So Ryung, he's slowly recovering. Ryung is behind, don't get me wrong. Like, he does have a worse economy here and he has to do something more. The Banshee's helping, does get 4 probes. But here comes the main army. Let's go. Does move out with everything. We'll see if we can catch Astrea off guard. Storm will be done in time for this defense. But Astrea otherwise distracted. It takes down the Banshee. Does he have a High Templar ready for this? Here comes Ryung. Ah, there's a storm. Ooh, there was a storm. Yeah, force a storm. Another disconnection. Tanks are sieged. Yeah, and Astrea, he's not ready. He has a bank. But he needs warp-ins. He needs High Templar. Zelsar across the map instead, getting SCV kills. Astrea, he abandons the third. Does catch some reinforcements. Ryung getting a lot done. But bleeding out a lot as well. Yeah, the game is getting messy. Nice storm. Storm connects. Stalkers, they miscontrol. They run past the army. And Ryung, I think he might have just done it. He's overstinned though. Yeah, heavily overstinned, but he has enough. Takes down the Stalkers. GG gets called. He breaks through that defensive line. And Ryung, phew, he fights back. He does fight back. GG, well played. Again, Ryung, he got across the map unscouted. Unlike in previous games, there was no observer. There was no observer to see the move out, to see the army. Alas, Astrea, he was caught with his pants down. He did have 1 High Templar. He had a couple of units back at him to defend, but not enough. Not enough there. GG, and again, it was 1 and done. Oh, 1 and done for Ryung. He had to get some damage then and there because it was falling so far behind. Otherwise, GG. GG, well played. Ryung, he does put a point on the board. We have a back and forth. Let's go. Let us go. GG, well played. Again, a very chaotic game. On the one hand, we saw Astrea getting a lot of damage done across the map, but at the same time, Hellion run by, Banshee into the main base. Astrea, he was not as ahead as he otherwise could have or should have been. The harassment across the map was brutal. So again, Ryung does fight back. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 4 here, and we'll see what map we load into. We shall see. Again, if we load into another smaller map, this is what we do expect to see Astrea just be hyper defensive again. As we've yet to see Astrea on Ultra Love, at least against Ryung. So maps like Ultra Love, maps like Persephone. That's where we expect more defensive play. But here we go. No. Here we go. He brought his umbrella. I mean, there was like 1 decent storm, but only 1. On the side of Astrea. But here we go. Ooh, and again, as a reminder, best of 7. As a reminder, this is going to be a best of 7, of course. We have at least 2 more games ahead of us, and I'm hoping for more. Hoping for more of a back and forth. On the one hand, is it late here? Yes, it's 6 a.m., but it's fine, Bobby. It's fine. We have our second wind. We're awake again. We're good to go. Yeah, it would be hyped to see Astrea at Esports World Cup again. Like he's honestly on a good trajectory so far, looking solid. I do feel like there's just a lot of pressure on Ryung. It would, to be fair, it would also be really hyped to see Ryung there as well. considering how much Ryung has been struggling when it comes to GSL performances this year. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Torches. Okay, we have the American Protoss player, we have the red Protoss. It is Astrea. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the blue Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Ryung. Here we go. As well, going on to Torches. Torches is one of the most viewed maps in the map pool, but hey, best of 7 means we get some of these more unorthodox maps. Torches has a short rush distance by air, short rush distance by ground. There are gold bases that you can rush into as well. We have the healing pad, of course, but often we see all-ins. I don't think I've ever seen a macro game on Torches, unfortunately, not yet. So we'll see what Ryung goes for. For now, double gas opener. Now, if you recall, we spoke about the safe builds that Astrea has shown us so far in Game 1 and Game 2, not on Tokamak, but on the previous maps. That's what we expect here. Referring to earlier Charge and earlier Storm on 2 bases. Especially upon seeing a double gas opener, especially upon seeing Torches of all maps, it would make the most sense here for Astrea to be very safe. This is where I wouldn't be opposed to Ryung even just being greedy on Torches instead, but we'll see. With double gases, we are going for a faster factory, faster starport. This could lead into fast Banshee play, tank drop, cyclone drop. Pylon block here will delay any kind of add-on from the racks. Cheeky move here from Astrea. Yeah, it does force it to reposition, will delay the add-on. Just forcing some inefficiencies here out of Ryung. So cheeky move there by Astrea. Meanwhile, there we go, there's that Twilight Council. Tech Lab is on the way in the factory. That's Ryung, I believe, hasn't seen the tech yet, but there we go, we'll confirm. Dips in, confirms the tech. And should get away. Should get away. You know, blink based opener, not charge, okay. Opening up blink. Going for blink aggression can be difficult in this map just because there's no Reaper cliff, or there's no way into the main. You have to go into the natural instead. So seeing heavy blink aggression is rare on Torches. Is there a sight? First up, we have a cyclone drop. Cyclone's on the way. And we'll see if he goes for a cyclone drop into a tank. Or into an add-on swap. Okay, tank is on the way. Let's go for the tank. We'll see if we go for a Tech Lab from here. Yep, there it is. Tech Lab is on the way. So it looks like Tank Banshee once again out of Ryung. I want to say that we saw this from Gumiho earlier as well. No, wait, sorry, from Gabe. That's it. We saw this from Gabe against Goblin. So we have the Cyclone drop moving in. Tanks are building up back at home. Into, I would imagine, Banshee. Yep, Banshees are on the way as well. Yeah, Gabe was very fond of this against Goblin. With his drop, getting 3 probes, not bad. Gets a couple of probe kills. Cloak is being researched. Yeah, this. I think we saw this like 2 or 3 times from Gabe in the previous series. Now Astrea's playing safe. He already has the Robo on 2 bases, going for the Observer. He's not rushing into Storm, not like he did in Game 1 or Game 2, but still being safe with the Robo. This is a bold move. This is a tank in position. Has to get the hell out of there. It gets an SCV, sure. Oh, and I believe Astrea is not aware of the Cloak Banshee yet, but he does have observers, just not quite in position at home. Astrea does move in. Oh, nice control here by Ryung. Saves the Cyclone. Astrea just picking away at the army, shaving off those Marines. Ryung building up to a third tank. And soon Ryung is going to push. He's going to push on 2 bases. He will break out. We can see Astrea trying to work towards Colossus production. Yeah, boys are pulled to repair. Double Banshee into the main. They can one-shot workers, but actually Astrea, he's ready for this. He's in position. Still a messy engagement. There we go, 1 Banshee goes down. Hoping to chase down the other. Astrea is distracted. He's distracted. 4 probe kills. Oh, Ryung is like everyone's distracted. Yeah, snipes the medevac, nice pickup. Both players losing workers. Ryung is committed, he's moving out across the map. But I don't know how much he can really get done here. He's got what, 4 tanks? 4 tanks, but not really much support for the tanks is the problem. Astrea catching reinforcements. Oh, pushing in towards the mineral line. Doesn't quite commit. Charge is done, diving on the tanks. Takes down 1, takes down 2. Yeah, barely snipes 2 tanks. Nice big here by Astrea, and he gets surrounded. Yeah, Ryung is just getting completely shut down. This push was delayed and completely cleaned up as well. The Banshees don't do enough damage. Going back in, 6 probes, that's nice and all, but alas, he lost 4 tanks. Oh, God. And Ryung, he's scrambling for a defense back at home. Oh, Banshee into the main, okay. More damage being done. Yeah, tanks are set. Does force a recall. And the game continues. Now, coming into this, I do favor Astrea. He doesn't really have the worker lead that he needs. That's true, but at the same time, Ryung just now starts his third. Like, his third base is delayed. Ryung was quite committed here to his tank push, and he got shut down. Setting up. From here, Astrea can just take his 4th base, is resaturating, double forge on the way, colossal production as well. Astrea still looking solid. Not as ahead as he would have liked to have been, but still in a better position. Likewise, Ryung just now taking his 3rd base, expanding towards the gold. Let's go. That would be a way to recover, to claim the gold. Claim the gold base. And I'm a little bit concerned that we're going to end up in a similar game state. I'd mentioned before that I've never seen late game on torches. I stand by that, of course. Haven't seen that yet. We'll see if Astrea decides to try to take map control and contain. He's working towards +1, towards 1-1 upgrades. Prison speed is on the way as well. So he should be harassing. Should be going for a more active style, thankfully. Catching up with Marauders. Takes down the Banshee, finally. There's still 1 more left over. Astrea is at least aware of the 3rd. But he should not allow Ryung to expand and get a 4th. That just shouldn't happen. Actually, instead of straight moving in, pushing into a siege line. There's 5 tanks. Like Astrea, he does not have to push into this. It does rush forward, gets into the mid line. Boys are being pulled. He will get some SCVs. Gets 1. Gets 2 tanks. There's still 3 tanks left. Zealous is stuck behind the Stalkers. Oh, yeah, no one engaged there for Astrea, and he does not break through. Gets 14 SCVs. Loses both Colossus. And this is an example of like when you're ahead, if you attack, like you can lose that lead. Because Astrea, he had map control, he had the supply lead, he had the economy. Throws away a lot of supply there, a lot of expensive units. Did kill 14 SCVs, but that was a brutal loss there for Astrea. Has to back up, has to lick his wounds. This would be the time for Ryung to counterattack. If he doesn't, then Astrea can just recover. Right? Astrea can just recover from that. If given time. Okay, Ryung, he moves out. Let's go. Ryung does have the army supply lead. Does have the army supply. Prism into the main. To delay, going for a massive, oh my god, going for a massive warp in. It's not going to get much done. Ryung is in position. Shuts down the Zealots. Nice defense. Astrea will lose that harassing army. Colossus still building up. And Ryung, he's clawing his way back into this game. Astrea, he had a pretty substantial lead. He's still ahead. Like, Astrea, he's still in a better position, but it doesn't have as big of a lead as he once did. Throwing away a lot of units. But now working on 3-3 upgrades. We've been here before. Astrea does not have to push into the bases. But what Astrea does need to do is deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base. Tanks are sieged. Liberation as well. Astrea rotating over. And again, he just has to deny this base. Astrea, he's maxed out. Did Eric win the Brazilian circuit yesterday? I recommend the VODs. It was very hype. I recommend the VODs for sure. Those are very high finals. But here we go, Astrea pushing forward. Never goes off. Decent connection. Oh, gets a kill in the CC. Yeah, it does get a kill. There was no lift. There was no save. And again, that's all that Astrea has to do. Just deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base. Contain Ryung on 3 bases for as long as possible. And then take up. Now from here, we do see Astrea going for 2 more robos, getting up to triple robo production. I do think that this map is too small for Skytoss. Like, I would be really concerned if Astrea tried to go into Tempest production. Does catch a couple Liberators. The reason for this is because the rush distance by ground is so short. If he tried to bleed off units, like a counterattack would be so imminent. It feels risky. He could still try to pull it off. It does feel risky. Oof, never goes off. Nice connection. 14 SCV kills. Catching up 14 SCVs, collapsing him from behind, Liberators out of position, and he will take the fight. Yeah, he collapsed on the army. Astrea just snowballing out of control from here, takes down all the tanks. Snowballing out of control. Cleans up the tanks. The Colossus are somewhat exposed, but still a better trade here for Astrea. And from here, GG gets called, breaks the main army, and Astrea takes a 3-1 lead. Whew, GG. GG well played. It does take a 3-1 lead. Again, it was a bit of a shaky follow-up here, but Astrea, for the most part, he was able to cripple the economy of his opponent, defend back at home, shut down the Cloak Banshees, and take a lead early on. We saw that Astrea almost lost that lead as he pushed into the third base, and he overextended into 5 tanks, so there were some slip-ups here and there. If you remember, he pushed into the third, he lost a lot of his army, and then he went for a Prism into the main base, he lost the Prism and all those Zealots as well, so like, there were a couple of rough moments there for Astrea where Ryung was able to recover, but for the most part, Astrea, he had map control, he had a lead, he just has to calm down, back off, deny the 4th base, and then he found an opening to get behind the army, and then GG. GG, well played. With that, Astrea is now 1 game away from claiming the series, 1 game away from qualifying for the Esports World Cup. He is so close to advancing through. And we'll see if he can. See if he can. But yes, I do recommend checking out the VODs for the Brazilian StarCraft circuit. It was very hype, very hype. We still have to make a post about it ourselves, just because I went straight to bed right after the cast. I'll be honest. Again, it was a 12-hour cast last night, so had to go straight to bed. The StarCraft continues. I see Super Kaito in the chat. The only Zerg missing is live VIP, but I heard he had to cast, otherwise he would have been at EWC. Cap. True. Here we go. But yes, when it comes to Zerg players, they've made it through. To have players like Solar, Shin, and Rogue already in Esports World Cup. Solar, Shin, Rogue, Raynor, Cyril as well. They're going to be a part of it. Here we go. And again, Onomas, one more game is all that Astrea needs here to make it through into EWC. Onomas, Bathy, Onomas. Let's go home. We'll see if Ryung can recover. Right, I was getting into this earlier. It would be nice to see Ryung at EWC, just because Ryung, he had a really rough year when it comes to GSL. He wasn't able to be a part of GSL Season 1, he wasn't able to be a part of GSL Season 2. He's a really strong player, and I do think that he would have had the best chance to make it through with his TvT, but Björn did get the better of him last night. Like, that would have been Ryung's chance. As he took down Gabe, if you recall, right? Like, Ryung, he took down Gabe. He did have a series against Björn. But now it did land on Astrea of all players. Oh. But here we go. We're jumping in. Jumping in on next game. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner here of Maganatha, we have the American Protoss. We have the red Protoss. It is Astrea. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Ryung. The Tuna Terran. The red Terran. Oh, there we go. Jesus. Here we go. And welcome to the largest map in the map pool. It's pretty big. It's pretty huge. Welcome to the largest map in the map pool here. Longer shot distance by ground as well. So we do favor longer macro games on Maganatha. We'll see how Astrea will approach this. If you recall, we saw a similar dynamic on Tokamak where Astrea took a lead, but then Ryung just committed to an all-in. He snuck out across the map, he caught Astrea with his pants down, and bam! That's where Ryung was able to take a map. He was able to take a map and able to take and catch Astrea off guard. Hopefully the clean feed stays clean a little bit longer. Stay with us, clean feed, stay with us. But we'll see how Ryung will approach Maganath. Again, Maganath I feel like is going to be favoring Astrea when it comes to securing the map, when it comes to taking map control and overwhelming from there. The pressure is going to be on Ryung to get something done earlier than that. For now, Economic Opener. So Rax expand out of Ryung. Economic Start is scouting for a proxy gateway. And Astrea going for a standard opener himself. Gate, Cyber, Expand. Let's go. So are these the finals? This is a qualifying match. Qualifying match. To make it into Esports World Cup. To make it in. So not seeing live? Yes, this is live. If we're ever casting something that is a replay cast, then it's usually, or that then it would be in the title of the stream. God, we've been live for you know, fun fact, yesterday we had a 12-hour cast, and coming in today I was like, maybe like 8 hours, maybe like 8 to 9. Pappy, we're coming up on 11 hours. Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna be so dead tomorrow. And we knew the weekend was gonna be brutal though. Like it's a very long weekend of casting. Non-stop StarCraft. Let's go. What do we have tomorrow? I think tomorrow's only Wardy, right? Yeah, thank God. Our next cast is going to be in like 15-ish hours, right? Yeah. 14 hours. It's gonna be the Wardy TV Monday. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Copium. Oh my god, we are rushing to early sim, my apologies. So it was a Rax Expand opener into an early 3-1-1. Okay, this looks like the beginning of a 2-base all-in. Interesting. We do see Astrea setting up defensively, does go for a Stargate opener himself. What's been happening here? Okay, so Stargate opener and Astrea. Stargate openers are very rare. They're very rare here. You can see him throwing down a field of stasis traps. It's not really gonna come into play. We do see that Ryung is pushing soon, but not yet. You can see here a 3-1-1 setup. Basically, no starport. Big prioritization of stim, and of course, a big delay on the starport on the medevac production. From here, Ryung could pull the boys. He could pull the boys. And these Stargate openers, they're weak against these kind of all-ins as well. So I'll be honest, everything is looking in favor of Ryung here. I want to say that in favor of this push, in favor of this timing, in favor of this all-in. Now, there is a chance if Ryung does take a stasis to the face, then Astrea can hold, 100%. Like, all it takes is one big stasis trap to connect, to slow down the all-in, and Astrea can pull off the defense. Yeah, you can see he's like tabbing through and cycling through all these stasis traps. Like, that is going to be a big part of whether or not Astrea can hold. Blink is almost done, working towards the Temple Archives. Ryung throws down 2 more Raxes. Yeah, this screams 2-base all in. So it's all or nothing here for Ryung. And Astrea, he hasn't really seen much. You can see Indy pointing out those 2 Raxes. Basically, those 2 Raxes are thrown down in a place where there's no add-ons. There's no add-ons, so we're just making nothing but Marine. Nothing but Marine. Ryung, he has the option to pull the boys. Yep, there it is. He pulls the boys. Does pull the boys, so it's just all or nothing for Ryung. And once again, a big part of this defense is the stasis traps. Do they connect? Oh, Astrea trying to bait out the army. The army, stasis goes off. No major connection. Grazes the army. Marine goes down, scans ahead of time, does spot another stasis. And nice moves here by Ryung. And again, Astrea, he's in trouble here. Storm is only halfway done. He has no storm ready. SV moving in, trying to bait it out. Another scan. Another stasis is going to be denied. And again, you can see why Stargate openers are so weak against all-ins. Because Astrea, he's hoping for a stasis to go off, otherwise it's over. Yeah, baits out once again. Tank stays zone away the Stalkers, and with that, Ryung has control of the third. Yeah, he's done it. Third base is going to go down. Now he's pushing towards the natural. Astrea hoping to defend, diving in. Brutal tank shots though. And Ryung takes over the natural, takes down the gateway. Tanks are pushing forward. Storm is about to finish, but I don't think there are any High Templar ready for this. Even if they were, it wouldn't matter. Yeah, GG gets called. Ryung, he pops off with the all-in, and Ryung, he fights back. He puts another point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. The stars aligned here. 2 base all-in out of Ryung, and Astrea having to be going for a Stargate opener. Stargate openers are so vulnerable to 2 base all-ins. This is the reason why Stargate openers are out of meta. You rarely see them anymore. You rarely see them, and because all-ins have risen in popularity, right? 2 base all-ins have risen in popularity in TVP. As a result, these Stargate openers have fallen off quite hard. When it comes to these Stargate openers, again, when it comes to either whether it would have been Phoenixes or whether it would have been Oracles, when it comes to dealing with these all-ins, what can you do? You can try to lift up a Marine at a time, try to lift up a tank at a time, but you have all this buy that you're worried about, that you're dealing with. So Ryung did snowball from there, and basically Astrea, he had to get one of those safe traps to connect. Otherwise, as we saw, GG. GG, well played. Ryung, he overwhelms. Does overwhelm. And with that, we're getting into our next game. So almost a build order win there from Ryung. Astrea going for a Stargate or Magnatha makes sense, assuming that his opponent would have been playing standard and macro, but it wasn't all in. It was not standard, was not macro, it wasn't all in instead. Thankfully as well, Ryung, he did not take the first stasis to the face, and that kind of tipped him off to start scanning and checking for stasis traps. Meanwhile, Astrea, he needs to win one more game to claim the series. Ryung has to win one more game to force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Uno más, papi, uno más. We go. Again, could be loading into potentially the final game of the series. I do not expect another Stargate open out of Astrea. I mean, what are the odds that your opponent goes 2 base all-in 2 games in a row, right? So you could argue that like maybe now would be a little bit safer for Astrea to go for something like an Oracle opener or a Phoenix opener, but I would advise against it. Didn't think it would be necessary to take that risk. But here we go. Here we go. Catching up. And likewise, again, depending on the maps here, I mean, Ryung, it wouldn't take too much at all here to bring us to the ace match. He's close. He's almost there. He's still in this, of course. Of course, man. Of course. Oh, the USA chants in the chat. Again, it would be nice to have more regional representation, for sure, for sure. At EWC. But, yo, meanwhile, we be vibing. Just looking at our schedule. As a reminder as well, of course, Home Story Cup. Yeah, true. Home Story Cup also next weekend. Also going to be next weekend as well. There's no EWC qualifier spots for Home Story Cup. Bear that in mind, unfortunately. But still, going to be a big event in Europa, nonetheless. I'm sure a bunch of the European players are going to be there. I'm sure Goblin is going to be invited. He has to be after his performances. Got to be invited. I hope so, but here we go. We're jumping into our next game. Ooh, loading into Ultra Love. Okay, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss. One game away from qualifying for the main event for EWC. It is Astrea. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Vitality. One game away from forcing the ace match. It is Ryung. Let's go. Welcome to Ultra Love now. Does anyone in the chat feel some PTSD? We've been here before. Now, a couple of things. Ultralove is a map of extremes. What do I mean by that? Ultralove is a smaller map in the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. So because of that, we do often see a lot of all-ins on this map. But if a player can, or if the map does get up to a stage where you get up to 4 bases, the map can very easily be cut in half. The reason for this is because of the terrain. There are some very narrow choke points and very narrow ramps scattered throughout the center of the map. And if you remember, this was the map that was featured in game 1 between Astrea and Gumiho, where Astrea did cut the map in half, did contain Gumiho, did take over the map, and it was the first, like, what, 45-minute game of the day, where Gumiho was just contained and Astrea had like a 25k bank and just overwhelmed from there. So again, it is a map of extremes. I also bring that up because double gas open down for Ryung. Ryung still has the potential to end the game early. If he doesn't though, if the game stabilizes, if we get into the mid game, then there's a high chance that we do cut the map in half. Oh boy. So we'll see how Ryung does piece this all together. Initially, double gas, faster factory. We've already seen Ryung once before this go for his own, I think it was on pylon if I recall correctly, go for, sorry I say pylon, it was on torches of course, go for an early tech lab into tank, into banshee play, into cloak banshee. We saw that a lot from Gabe of course earlier. So that is a potential follow-up. Does open up Reaper, second Reaper into Hellion, no tech lab, okay. No reactor either, so it's only going to be one Hellion here. He can go one Hellion into Widowmine drop. He shouldn't commit too hard into Hellion. We'll see. Yeah, there it is, so Hellion is a Widowmine. Now, as you can imagine, this is very gas light here from Ryung. So after the drop play, we're expecting tech lab into like banshee play. After the first medevac. Oh, nice snipe. Oh my god. Takes down the sentry. That should not have happened. Sentry goes down. Limited scouting here from Astrea. The first hallucination thankfully did get across the map. Yeah, shout out to Astrea. He has a White Rise as announcer. Yeah, it was Ryung earlier with Diva. Gets into the main, confirms the 1-1-1 setup, confirms lack of add-ons, is aware of the potential for a mine drop. And there's that tech lab. Go, medevac's moving out. Tank production has begun. Going for the drop. So let's head towards the main. Meanwhile, ooh, okay, so I thought it was going to be tank into Banshee. It's going to be tank into Raven. So not as committed. Wouldn't mind does drop into the main. Shots, he does hold on to them. Gets 1 probe so far. Gets up to 3. 3 probe kills, not bad. Too bad here. Gets 3 workers behind this, going for his own tank production. Admiral once again. Third Rax is on the way. And we're building up into the mid game. Meanwhile, Astrea, oh, we've seen this before, is going into early Temple Archives on 2 bases into early Storm. We saw this in the first 2 games of the series. So rushing into Charge, into Robo, into Temple Archives, all on 2 bases. So this is just a really, really safe play from Astrea. Basically, if Ryung was going for a 2-base push and a 2-base all-in, then Astrea would ideally shut it down with this. Just because he's delaying his 3rd base so much in favor of all this tech. And again, we saw this in the first 2 games. If you recall, we saw this on Pylon as well. And ideally, like Astrea, he wants Ryung to push into him, so that Astrea can actually, you know, make use of the early storm and make use of the early charge and make use of the army that he's going to be amassing. Third CC out of Ryung, I like this. Third CC is expanding. Suddenly, this means that the early tech and the big investment here from Astrea isn't really as worth it, just because he's getting ready for a push that isn't coming, or that isn't going to be as dedicated. I'm hoping that it's not too dedicated, by the way. As Ryung, he's being somewhat active. Yeah, he's pushing. Remember, he's expanding behind this, so he's not all in. Astrea is ready. He has Storm. Uh-oh. There's the stim. You can see Ryung trying to bait out the Storm. Ryung, he backs off. He pulls away. Thankfully, Ryung doesn't commit, otherwise he would have lost everything. Ooh, speaking of. Raven goes down. Meanwhile, Ryung going for a massive Dune drop. Very committed. Headed towards the main. Astrea, he does have some supportive pylons in position towards the left-hand side. Can Ryung thread the needle? No, no shot. No shot. And the pylons, they see everything. Astrea, he commits in. Yeah, he shuts us down. Zones away Ryung. And the drop doesn't get across the map. Okay, so now we're building up. Oh, G said I see 4 bases. We're getting there. There's that 4-base setup. Bays on the way, extra gateways. Ryung still has a pretty decent army. It's pretty terrifying, actually. He's going through the ramp. Oh, here come the storms. Yeah, storms on the widow mines. Oh my god, brutal storms. Most of the mines go down. But the Wire Army does survive. Tank as well. Mine drop back in. Oh my god. Clutch control. And again, you can see how difficult it is to get through these bridges here on Ultra Love. So difficult. Oh. But yeah, he's gaining ground. There's another storm waiting for him. Yeah. He spots High Templar. Does spot the Templar. Has to pull away. Another expansion here. We spoke about this, how this map is a map of extremes. If we don't see it all in, then often we do see a split map scenario. As Astrea is taking another base. Ryung still has a supply lead, so Ryung could still try to end the game early. Does catch the prism. Or at least a drop. Going towards bottom right, he could deny the expansion. Okay. Yeah, he's going for it. And Astrea, he cannot save this. Nexus goes down. Ryung is maxed. And again, we got to make use of the army. Now, the scary thing, if Ryung pushes, you can see that Astrea is ready for a run-by. He's ready for a counterattack. Ready for the storms as well. Speaking of, Storm does zone. Storm zones away. Drop on the right. Prism back into the main base. And you can see Astrea stabilizing. Like Astrea, he was down, what, 30 supply, but now he's catching up. Catching up with the army. Getting on the base. Astrea breaks through. Does catch a ghost. Zelrame gets caught. And Astrea, he shouldn't get much done here. Yeah, he has to back off. Prism makes into the main. SCV's gonna be going down, going for a warp in. Warp in will barely finish. Astrea just being active, just making sure and ensuring that Ryung doesn't expand. Like, what Astrea is hoping for here is to contain Ryung on 3 bases. But Ryung, he slips by. Does slip by. It's a double drop bottom right. Ooh, upgrade is denied though. Ay, ay, ay. Nice L2. Nice feedbacks. Nice feedbacks. Astrea being forced further back. Colossus goes down. Storm coming in. And it looks like Astrea, he does have a force back at home. He holds. He sends back the army. Okay, just a little posturing here. Astrea is on 82 workers. He's starting to build up that bank. Now, unlike we saw in game 1 of this series, and even game 1 between Astrea and Gumiho, Ryung, he has yet to really back off and start to turtle. Like, he's still trying to be active, trying to be aggressive, still trying to end the game or make a way across the map. Still looking for a way in. He does not want to just allow Astrea to take over the map and take over the Sky Toss. He's doing what he can. Okay. Fusion Core is on the way. Second starport as well for Mass Viking. Astrea once again going for feedbacks. Storm as well. Snipe there on those 2 High Templar. But Zealous is still overwhelmed. Should get a ghost. Astrea takes down a tank as well. And Ryung, he's finally expanding on the right hand side, claiming a 4th. Okay, the onus is on Astrea to stop that from getting up. Catch a ghost. As they'll say, do rally in. Catching another ghost as well. And what looks to be another. Yeah, 3, 4 ghosts go down. Oh my god. That's a lot of ghosts falling. To just Zealots. I would assume at this point we would be getting ready with a Stargate and with a second Cybercore. Like Astrea, he has quite a bank. Wedging himself into the natural. Zealous taking it to the middle line. But alas, Ryung, he's ready. Nice SimCity. Shuts down the Zealots. Forces back the Rebel army as well. Oh my god, but the Prism got in. And once again got in, going for the Fusion Core, denying the upgrade. And limited range will not complete. Zealous bust in. Oh, brutal storms as well. Yeah, takes down the middle line. 17 SCV kills, no repair. And Ryung, he has to break out. Losing so much of his economy. And up until this point, Ryung was being active, but now he's kind of lost that. Uh-oh. We know what's happening. But now 3-3 upgrades. That's a lot of High Templar. 18 High Templar. That's crazy. That's gonna be so many storms. Yeah, sending back the army. Ooh, High Templar getting called out though. Expensive losses. Oh Jesus, as the storms they get thrown down, the storms that just don't stop. But it was mainly a High Templar based army. Ryung is all in. Ryung, he's all in. He's got to go. He's got to send it. Warping across the map. Not at home to defend, which means Ryung, he can break through. Okay, we need defenses back at home. Astrea, he's vulnerable. Yeah, bases are falling. Zealous, sure, they'd be having the main, but that doesn't matter. As another High Templar goes down. Again, it's mainly High Templar defense. The Usher's Pylon. The Usher's Pylon just gets shut down. Depowers all the Robos. But that's a lot of Zealots. Yeah, a lot of Chargers coming in. And Ryung, he's running out of steam. Takes some massive storms to the face. And this is the only army he has left. And he will lose everything. It was a good push, but there's nothing left. Yeah, GG gets called. No economy, no army remaining. And Astrea, he will take the series 4-2 and qualify for the Esports World Cup 2025. GG. Ooh. Hi. GG, well played. Again, Ryung, he was popping off towards the end there. Unfortunately, because of the warping into the main base, he had no economy, right? He was losing everything back at home. It wasn't just that, of course. If you remember, just before that happened, we saw him lose the planetary. He lost the planetary, lost a mineral in there, so he was just all in. He was just all in. Either he killed Astrea with that push, or he would just die trying. And he was getting damage done. He caught a bunch of High Templar. He depowered the Robos. He denied the Colossus. It was good, but barely not good enough. Barely not enough to end the game. Not enough to carry the production. GG. GG, well played with that. Ooh. There we go. With that, GG, well played with that. Astrea, he will make it through into the Esports World Cup. My condolences here to Ryung. My condolences to those that were barely not able to make the cut. I can definitely see a world where Ryung, where Goblin, where some of these other players could have made it through. But Gumiho as well, of course. But not this year. Not this year. GG, well played. My heart goes out to, again, the players that did not quite advance on. Let's catch up here. We can catch up on the bracket. Bam. Oh. And here we have them. There it is. Here we have them. So throughout yesterday and today, we had Björn. Björn, he made it through in the first place. Björn took down Lemon 3-0, took down Ryung 4-1 to qualify for the Esports World Cup. Meanwhile, we had Ryung. Ryung took down Gabe 3-1. And again, Ryung, his best matchup is PvT. This would have been his best opportunity to make it through to qualify. But alas, Björn takes down Ryung 4-1. And Björn did qualify through. Scrolling down, we had Lambo taking down Astrea 3-0. We had Goblin taking down Gumiho. Again, strong showing there by Goblin. Lambo took that Goblin. Lambo did qualify for the main event. Goblin, he had a bit of a lackluster performance here against Lambo. Goblin, if you remember, he was going for very cheeky builds. He was going for rushes into Sky Toss, rushes into Glaive Adepts, some really specialized builds out of Goblin, but they did fall in their face, and with that, Lambo does qualify. Scrolling down, we had Gabe taking down Lemon. We had Gabe versus Goblin. Very intense, very back and forth. Goblin had momentum early on, but then Gabe, he was able to hunker down. He was able to lock in. He was able to be hyper aggressive. He was able to be hyper aggressive against Goblin in the preceding 4 series and just overwhelm. Take a lead early on, cripple Goblin economically, maintain that lead, and just snowball from there and qualify for the Esports World Cup. We then had Astrea. Astrea took down Gumiho. Astrea took down Ryung. This is where Astrea is at his best. I did see some people saying like, oh, Astrea is looking better than he did yesterday. Not at all. I should say that Astrea was looking good yesterday as well. Here, just like Goblin, Astrea and Goblin, their best matchups are against Terran. That's why Lambo's matches were looking a lot more one-sided against both Astrea and Goblin. Again, our 2 Protoss players here, they thrive much more against Terran players, and that's why we saw Goblin and Astrea pop off here against Gumiho, against Ryung, against Gabe. That's where they did excel a lot more. More so than against Lambo. So GG well played in the end. Astrea, he did make it through. He did advance on. Congratulations to Astrea, and to Gabe, and to Lambo, and to Björn. GG, well played. And with that, we have our confirmed players. We have our confirmed players here for the main event. Let's quickly go over that, actually. I believe the Wikipedia page should be updated. Let's go. Okay, from the top. Bam, from the top. So, invited because of his performance in last year, the reigning world champion Clem, the best player in the world, the reigning world champion. He has been invited here to the Esports World Cup as 2025. Meanwhile, from the Korean qualifier, we had Xian and Kior. We have a Protoss and extra Terran here from the Korean qualifiers. From the European qualifier, we had Raynor and Cyril, our 2 Zerg representatives. From the Americas qualifier, we had Trigger. From the Asia qualifier, we have Lancer. From GSL Season 1 and 2, we have Hero and Rogue, respectively. And from DreamHack Dallas, we have Classic, Maru, Shin, and Solar. Then we had Showtime from Star Zagora, and we just wrapped up here our final global qualifiers: Astrea, Byan, Hero Marine, and Lim. There we go. We have our top players here for the Esports World Cup. 7 Protoss, 5 Terran, and 6 Zerg coming together here for the biggest event of the year. Let's go. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. Of course, the bracket has not been seeded by any means. It is too soon for that. The event, of course, is going to be taking place next month. Next month, end of next month, is going to be the Esports World Cup. As always, we're going to be covering it here on the channel. We're going to be covering it. We're going to be casting it. I believe we should have access to co-stream, so most likely to be co-streaming the event, and it's going to be a wild one here. Personally, it's hard to bet against Clem. Clem, he is the reigning world champion, and I would say is still the best player in the world. He is looking insanely good right now. But what I appreciate here is that we have seen more closer series between Clem and Cyril, for example. Cyril has been looking quite strong himself, has been definitely improving over time, and his matches against Clem have been closer than previously, so that does bode well. Likewise, of course, Hero also has been very much so in form as of late, has been taking down players like Clem and players like MaxPax and some of the other top players on a more regular basis. I will say that Hero had a lackluster performance against Raynor during DreamHack, 100%. Like, that was a bit of a weird series and a little bit lackluster there. But we'll see if Hero can lock in for EWC. Likewise, Classic also recently popping off as well. I would say that Classic, he has a definitely different style from Hero, looking really strong when it comes to the late game. I mentioned, I was joking earlier, but Classic, I guess kind of like Astrea, he's willing to go into a rush into late game when he takes the lead against Terran and against Zerg players alike. That is where Classic does thrive. Likewise, we have plenty of Zerg representation as well. And of course, other Terran players also going to be joining the fray. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a lot of fun, of course. Do look forward to it. Again, players have a month to prepare. They have a month to get ready. What a lineup. What a lineup. Better cast in the main cast. Oh, thank you. Do appreciate it. I do apologize for being a little bit low energy. I mean, again, we just hit over 11 hours. We've been live. We had a cast just before this with the Sparkling Tuna Cup, and then bam, we just went straight into EWC. So a little bit low energy. So I do apologize for that. Same with yesterday as well. I was a little bit low energy for the Brazilian circuit because yesterday we had a 12-hour cast. Here, 11 hours, papi. Aye. It's a lot of StarCraft. A lot of StarCraft. I think we were okay towards the end, but I do think that I was a little bit low energy for Gabe versus Goblin, like the final couple of games there. But we were able to wake up. Who needs sleep? True. Hope that Maru can do something. I hope so as well. I'll be honest, like, Maru's performances this year has been questionable, is to say the least. Maru's been just hyper aggressive and very all in. He was the same at DreamHack Dallas. He was the same in GSL Season 1 and GSL Season 2 as well. So we'll see how Maru prepares for EWC. For me, like, his play has been leaving me wanting. Like, I've definitely been wanting a little bit more out of Maru. But looking forward to it. Yes, who needs sleep? Who needs it? But with that, we're wrapping up. Oh, of course, let's catch up on catch up on our schedule here. If you want some more CranKy Duckling action, we just wrapped up. Oh my god, this is our weekly schedule ahead of us here. We have the Wardy TV Monday. That's going to be at 8 p.m. KST. That is going to be in 13 hours. 13 hours time. We're going to be live with our next cast. So I do have some time to get some sleep, to get some rest, to get some food, and to get ready for some more StarCraft. Tomorrow we're going to be live with some show match catch-up streams. That is going to be some Kanoya show matches. Basically, we have some Beyond versus Creator show matches, some best of fives to jump into, so look forward to that. That is going to be tomorrow morning. We have the StarCraft Evolution League number 13, I believe. So number 14, that's going to be, of course, that's going to be tomorrow night. That is going to be a mod, not SE2, but that's going to be StarCraft Evolution. So if you want some more SE Evo content, we go check over there. We have the Big Esports Cup over on Wednesday. We have the EWC Esports World Cup DreamHack Dallas replay cast on Thursday. For those that are curious, we did cast DreamHack Dallas live. The VODs are on YouTube, the VODs are there on Twitch as well, but we did cast it live. But there are some games that never got casted. There were some games in the open stage, in the European bracket, the group stage, that never got casted. We did get our hands on the replays, and we know it's a month late. We had no time, but it's a month late. But we do want to jump in and cover those matches that never got casted. But whether it was ourselves or whether it was from the mainstream, there were just some matches that, because there were just so many games going on at once, some games just never got broadcasted. So we're going to be bringing them to you live here this week as well. So we're going to be catching up with some DreamHack Dallas. We have the podcast on Thursday. Though some people that were asking earlier about talk shows or about podcasts in StarCraft, I think we have the only regular talk show in StarCraft right now, which is kind of crazy. Do what we can. I say talk show. It's a little bit less of a talk show now. It's a little bit more like a news, like weekly, like catch-up stream, basically, on all things StarCraft. I do have to get ready for that. There was an interview with Fear Dragon. That's it. SE Historian, he interviewed Fear Dragon recently, and there were a bunch of interviews during Star Zagora as well, so we're going to be discussing, I have to watch them ahead of time, take some notes. We're going to be discussing those interviews, and of course going over all the news of the week, all the tournament results as well, including these qualifiers, including the Brazilian Sacramento Circuit, so plenty to go over during the podcast. Meanwhile, as you can see, Home Story Cup, we are not confirmed for Home Story Cup. Actually, let me check my DMs. Let me check my DMs, Pappy. Hold on. Are we confirmed? Okay, not yet. So we aren't confirmed yet, but we were the B stream for Home Story Cup for the past like 3 Home Story Cups. We were the B stream, so most likely it's going to happen again. Right now, I know that they're scrambling to get it going. It's a little bit disorganized for Home Story Cup. They haven't even announced who's going yet. I know that Streamer Zone announced their players that are going, so there's been some announcements, but we don't have like a full list of players yet. I know that they're kind of, trying to get everything going, but we most likely will be the B stream for that, or one of the side streams. That's going to be Home Story Cup this weekend, so once again a busy weekend here for the CranKy Ducklings, and Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday. That is tentative, because we're going to be casting Home Story Cup. We have to wait for the start times, and if Sparkling Tuna Cup clashes, then we might skip Tuna Cup this week. It depends again on the start time of Home Story Cup and how things line up. So tentatively STC, but we might have to postpone because of Home Story Cup. So we'll see. Otherwise, we could just do what we did today and just go from one, bam, right into the other. Tuna Cup into Home Story Cup. So that's our current weekly schedule. As you can see here, we have Wednesday afternoon and Friday afternoon free currently. Tentatively, we do want to try to have some time to get some rest and to catch up on work and to catch up and maybe even stream a little bit. Exclamation mark socials in the chat, and you get a link to our socials, to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, or exclamation mark socials in the chat, and we got you covered there. Again, we do upload on YouTube on a daily basis, so if you see something here that you want to watch live, if you're like, hey, I want to watch the podcast, or I want to watch Big Esports Cup, or some StarCraft Evolution, or some Wardy TV Monday, or like the Dallas replay cast, or Home Story Cup, and if you can't watch it live because there's just so much going on, or because of time zones, then check out the VODs over on YouTube. That is the place to be. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I do also stream on my own personal channel, exclamation mark light. I say I stream, I try to, because we cast so much, I don't really have a lot of time to stream, but I should be streaming on Wednesday. You can see that free afternoon, Wednesday and Friday, I might have some time to stream and play some ladder. I haven't laddered in like 2 weeks. I enjoy streaming, I enjoy laddering, but we've just been so busy with GSL, with EWC, with DreamHack Dallas, with Star Zagora, with RSL. There's just been so much going on. Haven't really had the time to stream or ladder, but this week I might be able to. So fingers crossed. If I do, probably Wednesday and Friday, probably. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for support. Big shout out to Blake and who's in the chat. Thank you so much for the bits. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It is 7 a.m. in the morning. 7 a.m. in the morning. Here in Australia. I'm gonna go make some tea. I'm gonna go get some sleep. I'm gonna go get some rest. Thank you for all the watching. Thank you for the thank you for tuning in. Hope you appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Again, Patreon if you want to support us. You can subscribe as well. We do give replay packs out. And with that, we're gonna be wrapping up. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live? Who is live at the moment? I see Jumi. Jumi is live. True. We can raid Jumi. I see Bomyoja is also live. Heaven. A lot of people live actually. Jesus. There's a lot of people live. I see Livy, I see Jumi, I see Heaven, Bomyoja, Dave, Ryu is live, true, Mijito, Ryu. Temp. A lot of people streaming, so we'll give someone a raid. Give them some love, give them some support. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more, or later on tonight, or tomorrow for some more CranKy Ducklings. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your night. Have a great time. Take care, everyone. Hasta luego. Ciao. Papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Take care.